The nature of the safety in the shipping industry, and particularly in tankers, has changed radically over the last few decades, as we all know. And issues have appeared, and that has made us all change our outlook on how we work. And this goes especially for oil companies, the seafarers on board the vessel, port state controls, P&I clubs, classification societies, and flag administrators. When I first became a DPA, during my first steps in the industry, I was on board an oil tanker on her maiden voyage, and I tried to take the elevator together with the chief engineer, and unfortunately the cabin never arrived. When we opened the door, we just saw the shaft underneath. The master of the vessel, when he noticed the commotion, he came out and he said, "Oh my God, we would lose the chief engineer." And I said, "Well, you would also lose the DPA." And he says, "You know, I can't sail without the chief engineer, but without the DPA, I could probably sail better." So this is how I started out. Things are much, much better now. And we got here because mainly the flood of recent legislation regarding safety and pollution prevention pushed us very hard to come up to standard fairly quickly and very abruptly. And also commercial tensions are very pressing, and sometimes, unfortunately, this is not followed by the financial rewards that one would expect. So what happened? All of these factors happened, the main one being the ISM, and of course, some very embarrassing incidents like the Exxon Valdez. In my mind, the Exxon Valdez was rather embarrassing than dangerous because we had this tremendous pollution, but fortunately, we didn't have any loss of life. So yes, the legislation had to change, and this brought a lot of burden on us. And of course, the vetting inspections are getting more and more strict, and we try all to cope with that. And it is a burden at the office, but mostly it is a burden on board the ships. So unfortunately, we cannot force anybody to be safe. We have to convince people that they want to be safe. We have to make them wish to be safe. And sometimes we have very experienced seafarers who are victims of overconfidence. Sometimes we have extremely difficult commercial pressures that might overrule our safety practices. We have sometimes extended crew contracts who do not help at all the morale or the safety on board. The rapid expansion of fleets are always a very high risk. And it is possible that the master's overriding authority could be compromised even when we imply from the office that we want things done a certain way. Of course, everybody says, yes, we do have master's overriding authority. However, at times, the poor master feels some pressure, not overtly, to do things the way we would want them. Another major area is work-rest hours. I don't think that any company so far has addressed this issue adequately, but we do turn our eyes the other way, and we choose not to see it very well. Most of the time, we have very, very tired seafarers on board. And of course, when the markets are not good, we know that bad markets breed unsafe ships, because then we have a lot of other priorities. Now, the realities in a safety department is that the lack of crew stability hinders long-term developments in a safety culture. We often have very dedicated and very skilled masters and chief engineers, very good seafarers with solid nautical backgrounds. However, these people are not necessarily managers. And they have to manage all the people on board. And vessels cannot be on remote control. There must be decisions made on board by the people who are on board. They have to be skilled, experienced, trustworthy, and level-headed. And these individuals must be there on the spot. We cannot replace this from the office. So this is another burden on the seafarers. What most of us try very hard to do is promote the safety culture, protect our seafarers, and as much as possible, keep our company's names away from negative publicity. We try to meet regulations, comply with oil major companies' requirements, and train our people to the maximum extent of our budgets. We try to keep a low profile in the safety departments and help the other departments make money. Since, unfortunately, our department will never make any money, we only spend it, and we are quite often reminded of this fact. So, in effect and in everyday terms, this means that we try to persuade our top management that safety, quality, and the protection of the environment make good business sense. So, maybe they won't be able to see it today, but eventually they will. And eventually it will bring money into the company. So we try to get our fair share of the budget so that we can educate, upgrade, implement, innovate, prevent disasters, and keep people happy on board to the best of our abilities. A lot of the time, these efforts have to happen in a bad market. And unfortunately, even if you have an excellent record for like 7 or 8 years, one serious incident could erase all your good efforts and deeds for quite a while. Fortunately, the results are good, mainly because we have good people in these posts. We have come a very long way in the span of a very short time. Most companies have realized that the effective use of their safety systems make good business sense indeed, even if the market is less than perfect, and they do persevere. Safety managers are nowadays a lot more busier with complex issues, not just, wear your safety hat, wear your safety shoes. We can actively contribute these days to the best possible operation of the ships and make it easier for the other departments to earn more. And the majority of our seafarers play along. They do embrace the culture we are trying to impart. They do operate safely to the best of their abilities and try to follow to the best of their efforts. So what it comes down to, if I were to share a few points with you, establish red lines and don't cross them. Make sure that the people on board know exactly what your red lines are. They cannot go beyond that. Get at least one truly safety-minded officer on board each of your ships. Try to balance cost and quality, and then try to balance cost and oil major requirements, because that's usually difficult. Evaluate long-term benefits versus short-term spending and make your money count. Lobby towards the middle management. They are the ones to carry your crusade on board. Fight hard for money for your department when the market is healthy, and maintain what you have gained when the market is low. Accept that you will often be the bearer of bad news. Upcoming expensive legislation, new training requirements, and the follies of the oil majors. It is not your fault. Don't take it personally. Just hang in there and do it. Train your masters and chief engineers to acquire as much as possible managerial skills. Do not extend contracts of employment. Tired people make mistakes. And remember to prove your points, preferably during management review meetings. Do push hard to operate by the book. It definitely pays in the long run.